Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Peaches. So, can I get a drum roll? Because in this video, I am talking you through the 4 reasons as to why 1,200 calories stopped me from losing body fat. Yes, stopped me. As you know by now, I went from this place here where I was really unhappy in myself. I had no energy, I was very lethargic, I was unhappy in my body, had zero confidence and kind of had no structure. My relationship with food was just awful, and that was me in this position. And I was trying to diet on 1,200 calories, cut out carbs, cut out meals, and this was the result of it. But then I switched that and totally changed my outlook on nutrition, exercise, and then have transformed my body to this. So with that being said, in this video, I am giving you the 4 reasons as to why 1,200 calories stopped me from losing body fat. And it's not just helped me, but it has helped my clients, who I've helped hundreds of women now go from dieting on 1,200 calories, losing nothing, to having a sustainable relationship with food and actually seeing a result. So you all want to listen to this one, and whilst you're here, you can like and subscribe, and let's get into reason number 1. Also, before we get into the video, I just wanted to say, if you are dieting on 1,200 calories and not seeing results, it's probably because you're not eating enough. So before I get into the reasons, I'm going to attach my calorie calculator below in the comment section, or just above the comment section, so you can work out your sustainable calories and know you will not be dieting or licking lettuces and absolutely starving. So go check it out below, and let's get into the 4 reasons why I wasn't able to lose body fat on 1,200 calories. Rolling in at number 1, and excuse my awful pen, but we have binging on weekends. So what I mean by binging on weekends and why this stopped me. So I would stick to eating 1,200 calories, or a limited amount of calories. I would stick to that Monday through to Friday. It would get to roughly about Friday and I would be absolutely starving. I had no energy, I was extremely lethargic. It would then get to the weekend, and because I'd restricted myself so much on such a small amount of calories, it would get to the weekend and I would have these massive binges on foods, and I just had zero control because I'd restricted myself so much throughout the week. So that was number 1 as to why I wasn't losing weight on 1,200 calories, because I wasn't eating 1,200 calories across the week. Now, your calories are a weekly average. So if you're doing 1,200 Monday through to Friday, but then Saturday and Sunday you are not tracking and you're eating like 3,000, 4,000 calories because you're having takeaways, binges on food, then across the week, you will be going over your maintenance calories. And that is the reason as to why you can't lose body fat. So when it comes to that side of things, that was number 1 as to why I couldn't lose body fat, because I wasn't sticking within my calories across the week. So how I solved this problem was I gave myself a much more realistic target when it came to calories. And for myself, I think I was on anywhere between 1,800 and 1,900 at the time. That was when I went into my initial cut, and I was able to stick to that through Monday all the way through to the weekend, and I didn't binge because I could actually fit my favorite foods into the calories across the week. So I didn't have these big binges when it got to the weekend. So if you are struggling and you are not tracking at the weekend, it is about 44% of your week, roughly. I'm not good at maths. But if you're not tracking at the weekends and you're just having these massive binges, then that can be leading you into a calorie surplus where you are eating more calories than you are burning, which means you are going to gain weight or at least maintain where you're at and you won't see progress. So that, my friends, is number 1. Rolling in at number 2, hopefully you can see that. We can see my pen is fading, but binges in the evenings. Now, what I mean by this one, so binges in the evenings, what would happen is, because I was so restrictive on my 1,200 calories, I would try to skip breakfast. Then I would have, because I was trying to fast and fit my meals like later in the day, so I would have a lunch that was like, I wouldn't have breakfast, or I'd have something like a black coffee, something very, very minimal. Then it would get to lunchtime and I'd have, again, something really, really minimal, because I was trying to save 1,200 calories for the evening. But then it would get later and later on in the day, and then I would feel, again, absolutely ravenous because I've not given my body food throughout the day. So then I would get to the evening and have these massive binges on biscuits, full packets of cookies, and then I would feel like, oh my God, I feel really guilty eating my dinner, or I would have my dinner but still be really hungry after because I've not fed myself any food at the beginning of the day. Then I'm not sticking in the 1,200 calories, and then I'm going over, and I mean way over, because when you have that sense of like binge because you've restricted so much, you feel like you're sort of out of control and you can't stop because you're so hungry, and then you have in your mind that you're then going to restrict again the next day, because that's the cycle that you're in. You're on that binge restrict cycle, so it's a never-ending circle. So how I overcame this one and these binges in the evening is I actually started having something filling for breakfast and for lunch. And I know that's really, really scary when it comes to dieting, because you think the less calories you eat, the better. But actually having something that is going to fill you up at breakfast time, and I mean properly filling you up, like around a 400 calorie meal with like 25 to 30 grams of protein, like a protein porridge, or some yogurt with granola and fruit, or some scrambled eggs on toast with avocado. Something that is actually going to fill you up in the morning, fill you up at lunchtime, having like a bagel with chicken, salad and mayo in at lunchtime, which will then stop the binges in the evening, because you're actually filling yourself up with food throughout the day. So if you were struggling with those binges in the evening because you were restricting yourself on so little calories, like, I beg you to start having a filling breakfast and a filling lunch, and then having a filling dinner, and that will stop the uncontrollable binges when it gets to the evenings. And then you feel so much more controlled around food because you're actually filling yourself up. So yeah, that is number 2. You get this a little bit close to you now, but number 3 is incorrect tracking. Now, incorrect tracking. So we use apps like MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck, or we even just log our food on like a piece of paper. Now I used to be really afraid of like tracking certain foods, because I would feel like I'd feel guilty if I'd gone over, and then I feel like, oh well, I don't want to track that in, because if it's not written down, then apparently I've not eaten it. So that was one form of incorrect tracking, but there are also other forms of incorrect tracking where I wouldn't track things like oils. I used to enjoy drinks like Starbucks, like frappuccinos that had lots of kind of calories in, which is absolutely fine, may I say. But if you're not tracking them in, or tracking in things like sauces, like mayo, peanut butter, Biscoff, those things all add up throughout the day. And if you're not tracking 1 or 2 of those things every single day, they are going to add up in calories. And as I said, these things are not bad to have in your diet, but if you aren't tracking them in, they're the things that are going to be adding up, and you will be going again over your calories, hitting that maintenance, or even going into a surplus, so you're not able to see the desired result. But the thing that I use, and I actually had a client of mine and we came up with this phrase, which is, your body is a VIP nightclub, and if it's not tracked, it's not going in your mouth. So when it comes to that side of things, now I know there's some people out there that don't agree with tracking, etc. And to be honest, I don't track myself anymore. However, it was something that I had to do at the beginning of my journey because one, I wanted to lose that body fat. I wanted to go from that place of where I was really unhappy in my body and in myself to feeling much more confident in myself. I had to go into losing body fat, but I wanted to do it in a sustainable way. So I actually started tracking my foods because eating 1,200 calories and missing things out like oils, sauces, or if I'd had those big binges, I then wouldn't track because I'd feel guilty that it would say a higher number. And it was damaging my relationship with food, but it was also not helping me see results. So if you are someone that is wanting to see results, tracking your calories accurately is going to help you lose body fat quicker. And no, not a quick fix, but it's going to help you lose body fat quicker because you are actually putting in calories in versus calories out. So when it comes to that one, how to start tracking more accurately is, I would always say, as I said, that the way that I said with my client, if it's not tracked, it's not going in your mouth. So what I would aim to do is start tracking your calories at the beginning of your day or the night before. And this just gives you a rough idea of what you're going to have. So for example, me, someone that has a big sweet tooth, what I used to do is I tracked in my favorite chocolate bar, and it was like a little Kinder chocolate bar or one of those gold bars. I would track that first into my MyFitnessPal, say on a Sunday night. I would track that first, ready for Monday, into Monday evening, and then I would plan the rest of my day around that favorite food because that still allows me to have it, but stick within my 1,800 calories at the time. So that is what I would always track the night before or the morning of. Put it into your MyFitnessPal or your NutriCheck, so this will stop the incorrect tracking. You know how many calories you're having of Biscoff on your porridge, you've got that chocolate bar in the evening, you know how much protein you're hitting, you know how much fiber you're getting in, are you having enough fruits and veggies, because that will help you massively. So with that being said, number 3, start tracking your foods accurately. Lastly, we have number 4, which is inconsistency. Now, what I mean by this one is I was someone that stuck with 1,200 calories for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks. Then I would give up, have these binges, and then kind of revert back to where I was before. And then of course, I wasn't seeing results because I was so inconsistent. My tracking, again, as I said, it wasn't consistent. It was like every day, like some days I would track my calories, some days I wouldn't. Some days I'd get my workouts in, some days I wouldn't. Some days I would have binges, some days I wouldn't. Some days I would stick to 1,200 calories, sometimes I would go over. It was so inconsistent, and it would last about 2-3 weeks, and then I would give up, and then that would be the end of that. So how I fixed this, I became more consistent. Let's say there are 31 days within the month, which some months there are. You want to be hitting your calories, your calorie target, your sustainable calorie target, may I say. You want to be hitting that for at least 28 days of the 31, because you are then more consistent than not consistent. And when it comes to consistency, if you have one bad day or you have one meal out, that does not mean you've ruined your progress. It just means you get back on track the day after. But we need to stop giving up after 2 weeks because we've not seen a change on the scale or we've not seen a result. Good things take time, and that's something that I've learned over the last 4 to 5 years of being in my own journey, but also being a coach myself. And not when it just comes to fat loss, with anything in life. Consistency is key. When we see people studying for exams, it's about the studying and the work and the effort that they put in consistently, day by day, week by week, month by month. Similar with learning to drive. It's about staying consistent with your lessons, day by day, week by week, month by month, and then you get better. Again, similar with losing body fat. You stay consistent most of the time, day by day, week by week, month by month, you will see that result and you will start to see those changes. But people that don't see results are the ones that give up after a week or 2 weeks because they are so inconsistent, and then give up, and then they start again Monday, or they start again at the beginning of a month, they start again in January, and the cycle continues. But how to see sustainable changes and to see a result that you want to last forever, consistency tops anything. And there we have it. They are the 4 reasons as to why I wasn't able to lose body fat on 1,200 calories. And it could be the reason why you are struggling as well. So I really hope that these tips have helped you. If they have, and you've come this far in the video, please comment calories so I know that you've been watching, and I hope you found this video useful. As I said, the calorie calculator is down below, so please use it, because it will help you find a sustainable calorie target that is made exactly for you. And if you are interested in coaching and you want someone to actually help you lose body fat sustainably, finding balance and making lifestyle changes, I'll pop a link below for my inquiry form for coaching. But apart from that, I hope you have an incredible day, and I will see you in the next one.